Set the frame before you start, out loud, before a single card is shuffled. It takes 30 seconds and it changes everything that follows. What this is, I read the arrangements, how the cards land, what stays close, what stays empty, not fortunes. What it is not. I cannot tell you about your health, your legal situation, or what someone else is going to do. What I will do, I will write down what I see before I say it, and some of it will be wrong. And what they can do, you can stop at any point. You do not owe me a reaction. The last one matters more than it looks. A sitter feels obligated to respond, to nod, to confirm, to give you something. That obligation is what powers the feedback loop we discussed. Telling them explicitly that they do not owe you a reaction gives them permission to sit still, and it gives you a cleaner signal. And notice what the third one does. Some of it will be wrong. Say that out loud in advance to their face. It changes the entire character of the encounter. It converts you from an oracle into a person reporting an observation. It gives them permission to say, no, that does not fit, which is the single most valuable thing they can possibly say to you, and which they will never say if you have set yourself up as someone who is supposed to be right. The person who is allowed to be wrong is the only kind of reader worth sitting down with. And the person who has told you in advance that some of it will be wrong cannot then be caught cold reading you into agreement, because they have already forfeited the performance. The record still runs, same log, same fields, and now it has something it has never had in 22 days, an external check. For 22 days, nothing in the world could confirm or refute your geometry. You wrote it down honestly, and it sat there, and no fact ever arrived to test it. That was the deep limitation of solitary practice, and I have not mentioned it until now. Tonight, a person can say, that fits or that does not fit. That is external evidence, and it is the first you have ever had, which is exactly why the map freeze matters so much tonight. Remember the sentence from the Spatial site book. An entry made before a sitter's confirmation carries more weight than one made after it. That clause has been sitting in your map freeze since day 3, waiting for tonight. Now you know what it was for. So here is what goes in that log. The geometry written before you spoke, time-stamped if you can, what they confirmed, what they denied, and log this eagerly, because a denial is worth more than a confirmation. A no, that is not right, is the only thing in this entire practice that has ever pushed back on you from outside your own head. And in your own head live all your parts, your protectors, which are managers and firefighters according to IFS therapy, as well as your exiles, the vulnerable, tender parts. The storytelling always comes from the parts in your mind. And we all have parts and we all have a mind. So therefore, it is precious to be able to have this, no, that is not right. Because now you are learning what is a real intuitive hit and what is coming from parts of your mind. So don't smooth it over. Do not decide they misunderstood. Do not conclude that it will make sense to them later. And the fourth thing, which nobody logs and everybody should, what you said that was not on the page, because you will say things that were not written. In the flow of it, watching their face, you will elaborate. And every one of those elaborations is a place where the feedback loop got into your reading. Log them. Count them. That number is your cold reading exposure, and it is the most honest measure of your own steering you will ever obtain. Your drill tonight. And if there is nobody available, do a normal solo session and run this one tomorrow. Do not conscript someone for the sake of the exercise. 1. Choose someone who is not in crisis. This matters, and I want to be firm about it. Your first reading for another person should not be for someone whose life is on fire. Not because you would do harm deliberately, but because a frightened person will take whatever you give them and build on it, and you're not ready to carry that. And tonight, you are still learning what the presence of a face does to your perception. Choose someone stable, curious, and not especially invested. Someone who would shrug. 2, set the frame out loud. All 4 parts, especially including, some of it will be wrong. 3, filter, place, draw, freeze, and write the full geometry sentence before you speak a single word about it. This is the whole defense. Do not shortcut it because it feels stilted in company. It will feel stilted. Do it anyway. 4, read it from the page. And while you do, notice how badly you want to look up at their face instead. Notice the pull. That pull is the thing you are defending against. And tonight is the first time you have ever felt it. 5, and log all of it. What they confirmed, what they denied, and everything you said that was not written down. Be honest about that last count. Nobody will ever see it but you, and it is the only measure you will ever have of how much of tonight was reading and how much was conversation. That is day 23. The moment there is a person across the table, the field starts giving you feedback in real time, and you will steer toward it, and you will not know that you are doing it. That is not a character flaw. It is what a social animal does when it is watching a face. You cannot defeat it with intention. You can only defeat it with structure. Write it before you speak it. The full geometry, on the page, frozen, before a single word is said aloud. Words written before you saw them land cannot have been shaped by how they landed. That is the only defense there is, and it is enough. Report the structure. Do not supply the names, the verdicts, or the futures. You do not have them, and you never did. And you will find, again and again, that the structure alone is enough. That you describe a shape, and they fill it with a content you could have never guessed. That division is not a limitation of the method. It is an honest account of what is actually happening between you. And the last thing, which outranks everything else I've said today. If something opens up in the person across from you, if the guard comes down, the protector lowers, or the protector softens, and something tender surfaces, put the cards down. Not read more gently, put them down. Your job is not to read it deeper. Your job is to stop reading and to be a person in a room with another person. And if it is beyond what the two of you can hold, to help them find someone whose actual job it is. My friends, there is nothing wrong and nothing to fix. There is only someone in front of you. That outranks the reading, absolutely, and it always will. You're not asked to believe. You're asked to record. I'm Dr. Rivka Edery, thanking you for joining me today, day 23, on Spatial Psy. Tomorrow is day 24, and I'm really looking forward to having you join us. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye for now.